how do we ensure prosperity of our people? Because our people must be prosperous, must get out of poverty. And in order to ensure prosperity, you must produce a good or a service which you sell. Because you can't be prosperous by begging. If you beg, you cannot sustainably be prosperous. So how does the family, forget about the country, even the family or a community, how do they become prosperous? You produce a good or a service in which you excel and you sell it. You sell that good or service. Somebody buys it. So you need two players. You need a producer of a good or a service and a consumer, a buyer. Now, when we, so that is the basic. That was our starting point. But before our time, people, our leaders and the chiefs were emphasizing the politics of identity. Politics of identity. I am this tribe. I am that tribe. I am this religion. I am that religion. Identity was more important for them. But when we came, we said, but you people, are you not misdirecting our people? Like, for instance, in my tribe, we are cattle people. We own cows. We are cow people. So we produce, in the modern system, we produce milk, we produce beef, we also produce bananas. Now, the problem we have is that all the people in my area produce the same product. I produce beef, my neighbor produces beef. I produce milk, my neighbor produces milk. I produce bananas, my neighbor produces bananas. He cannot buy from me, I cannot buy from him. So, yes, we are the same identity, we are the same tribe, we speak the same dialect, but he cannot easily support my prosperity, nor can I support his. Why? Because we are producing similar products. So that's why we said, you people, are you not misleading our people by emphasizing identity? And you forget interests? Interests? What is more primary, identity or interests? Yes, in some cases, when identity is under attack, it can become important. Like, for instance, in South Africa, when the whites were saying that Africans should not come to this hotel or something like that, Africans are not allowed here. Or in the US, if somebody makes it an issue, yes, we must defend identity. Because you may be damaging the interests of the same community. So, like me, a cattleman, my neighbors don't buy my milk. They don't buy my beef. They don't buy my bananas. I'm from the west of the country. Who are the people who buy my milk and buy my beef and buy my bananas? The people of Kampala, who belong to a different cultural group. They are the ones who buy my milk and buy my beef and buy my bananas. So when you come to my place and you find that I've got a good house, or I'm living well, it is because of the people of Uganda who buy my products. And I also buy theirs. I support their prosperity, they support mine, because the people in the east, in Jinja, where those people, the staff college is, they grow sugar cane. They produce sugar. I don't produce sugar, but I buy the sugar produced by the people in the east, in Jinja. So that's why our movement, our political movement said, no, you people, don't overemphasize identity unnecessarily. Unless identity is under attack, don't forget interests. Interests include market for my product, to buy what I produce. And I buy what you produce. I support your prosperity, you support mine. Buy my pocket. I buy your product, you buy mine. And that's how we are prosperous. So that's why we said no. For us, our principle number one in politics is patriotism. Love Uganda. Love Uganda. Don't tell me to love my tribe more than I love Uganda. Because Uganda is the one which will solve my problems of prosperity. So that's principle number one. When people are asleep, it is also good. Because when you are asleep, you don't know what, a snake can come and enter the house and bite you, and you die peacefully, because you don't know, you are not aware. But when you are awake, you know, you get more worried. If snake comes, you must fight. So our people here, when they were asleep, intoxicated by tribes and religion, because there was also issue of religion between the Catholics, the Protestants, the Muslims, the what. They were all diverted in those fights. But when we came, we said, no, you people, you are fighting people who could be your helpers, who can buy what you produce. You are destroying your market by fighting intersectarian fights. Because this Catholic or Protestant or Muslim will buy my milk. He will support my prosperity. So people woke up a bit, and Uganda at that time, especially after Idi Amin, Idi Amin, you must have heard how Idi Amin expelled our Indians here. Where some small Indian group here, about 80,000, that time, Idi Amin, in his confusion, chased them, expelled them. And they were very crucial because they were the business class, they were the entrepreneurs. For us who were farmers, for them they were shopkeepers. So they were supplementing us. Actually, they were complementarity. They were doing what we were not doing. For me, I'm a cattleman. I have no time to spend the whole day in the shop waiting for buyers. I'm in the bush with cows. This Indian here, my Indian people in my village, there were 4 families, four Indian families and 2 Arabs. They were the shopkeepers. For us, we were cows and crops. And they will be the ones to bring things from far, textile, what, and we buy from them. So Idi Amin chased them, and the economy was in big trouble. There were a lot of shortages. But when we came and we brought back some of those who wanted to come back, but also created a new situation, and people began knowing what to do, and they started production. So in no time, we the milk producers who are producing enough milk to satisfy the internal market of Uganda, but to remain with the big surplus. So, too much milk, too much maize, what they call corn in other languages, too much sugar, too much industrial products. So we said, okay, what do we do now? Because we told you, patriotism, love Uganda. But even Uganda is not enough. It's not enough to support our prosperity, because you see, Africa has got the problem of excessive balkanization, excessive political fragmentation. Africa has got 54 countries. If you look at North American continent, there are only 3 countries there: Canada, United States, and Mexico. The only other continent which is competing with us in balkanization is South America. It has got something like 16 or so countries. And the other country which competes with the other continent which competes with us in balkanization is Western Europe. Those small countries, Slovenia, one village, then they call it a country, then Czech, very fragmented. Now, that one has got a problem for prosperity. Because if you, and this is the big problem of South America. South America is a very rich continent in terms of natural resources: land, soil, good soil, forests, big rivers. The biggest river in the world, the Amazon, South America, minerals, energy, petroleum. Some of them have petroleum, but now you see them suffering, walking to the US, running away from poverty in a rich continent, but which is badly organized politically. So that's why here we told our people, say, please, principle number 1 of our movement is patriotism. But principle number 2 is Pan-Africanism. You must think of Africa as a united continent. Pan-Africanism. Market integration, we must integrate the whole of Africa economically if we want to be prosperous. So that when I produce a product, it has got enough buyers. Not only the ones in Uganda, but the ones in East Africa, the ones in Central Africa, and we have now also inaugurated what we call the FTA, the CFTA, Continental Free Trade Area for the whole of Africa. So this is the second principle of our movement, Pan-Africanism. Now the third one is socio-economic transformation. We must have a modern society. Because of the science and technology, the one which is the primer for social change, we cannot remain with the old science and technology and we think that we can cope and survive in the world. So that's why we emphasize education, especially science education, and which will trigger the socio-economic transformation, and then democracy. So these 3 will deal with the issue of prosperity. These 4 will deal with the issue of prosperity. How can the Africans be prosperous? We must answer that question of prosperity. Prosperity through production and sale of what you produce. But then there's the second issue, the issue of strategic security. How can the Africans survive in the modern world? because some of the countries in the world, they talk of 4-dimensional superiority. The US has been talking about that. They want to be superior in the land forces, superior in the Air Force, superior in the Navy, and superior in space. Where does that leave other people? When you are just Uganda here, you are like an ant. Somebody is in space looking at you when you are just here like a cockroach. That one we cannot accept. So that the part of the Pan-Africanism is to aggregate our countries into units which can be able to go into all those dimensions: land, air, sea, and space. We need to go to space and see what people are doing there. What are you doing in space? We can't just be here on Earth when other people are in space. We are not going to accept that. So finally, we say, but for us, we are lucky. Because as I told you at the beginning, these Europeans get problems in integration. Because when they try to integrate the Germans, the Polish, the English, you see the English have walked out of the European Union. They don't have one language. But for us, we are lucky. We have Swahili, which is a dialect which belongs to nobody. And that's why we are pushing our project of economic and in some cases where possible, even political integration, so that we solve the issue of the market, but also solve the problem of strategic security, using the similarity